सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of the life of direct disciples. Now we are studying the life of Adbhutanandaji Maharaj, who was lovingly called as Latu Maharaj. We shall continue from where we left it in the last session. Ramakrishna is now instructing Latu Maharaj because he had decided to take up God realization and to be a monastic. To become a sannyasin or to become the monastic is not the goal, that is the means, but God realization is the goal. So for that, one important aspect which is stated in Yama and Niyama of the Ashtanga Yoga, Raja Yoga or Patanjali Yoga, the eightfold limbs is in Niyama, Niyama, Brahmacharya. Continence. What is the Sanskrit meaning of Brahmacharya? Brahmani charati. To walk, to move in Brahman. What is Brahman? Brahman is the highest Godhead, Nirakara, Nirguna, Parabrahma. Formless, attributeless. The Lord is called Parabrahma, the highest Godhead. So, moving, charana, charati, Brahmani charati. Moving about or always staying in Brahman. That is our real nature. Not coming out to any other state, staying in our own nature. Brahmani charati. That is Brahmacharya. Our mind should not dwell in any other thing other than God. So that is the real meaning of Brahmacharya. Brahmani charati. Continence. So this is indispensable in spiritual life. But at the ordinary sense, it is considered to be as abstaining from sexual life. At the lower level, it is called as keeping your mind only in God and not going to any other impure things. So maintaining the purity of the mind. So this aspect at the lower end, Brahmacharya, abstaining from sexual life, is indispensable in spiritual life. So Ramakrishna told his disciples, when a man succeeds in the conservation of his sexual energy, his intellect reflects the image of Brahman. Now, we have different faculties in our mind. That faculty which is always asking how, why, where, doubting aspect, that is called manas. Samshayatmika manas. Now, another aspect of our mind is Nishchayatmika buddhihi, that which decides when you are in doubt, when you have so many questions, how, why, where, then out of the memory and out of the conclusion, because of your intellect, one part of the mind that is called intellect, buddhi, will come to a decision or conclusion, conviction, that is called buddhi. Nishchayatmika buddhihi. So samshayatmika manas, nishchayatmika buddhihi. So this buddhi a part of our mind. You know, mind is also matter. So buddhi, the purest form, reflects God, because mind is always samshayatmika, it will be getting waves, vritti. So because of the ripples and the waves, the Lord who is within us cannot be reflected. The buddhi, when you increase the intellect, the buddhi nishchayatmika aspect of your mind, the imbalance or the vrittis or the wavy motion of the mind is reduced, the mind becomes firm. That aspect is called buddhi, intellect. We request in the mantra, we pray to the Lord Creator. In Gayatri Mantra, Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Lord, please inspire my intellect, Dhi. So that buddhi. So here Ramakrishna is telling, when a man succeeds in the conservation of his sexual energy, his intellect reflects, the buddhi reflects the image of God. God is already there. It is just like that is a pond, you know, the pond or a lake. If there are waves and if there are dirt and mud in the water, then you can't see the bottom, the ripples, the waves on the top, and the impurity like mud and stone and other things in the water will not allow you to see the bottom. When there is no wave and it is very clear, there is no wind on the top, in that waveless, motionless water, and also impurity is gone and settled down and it is only pure, then you can see the bottom automatically because the bottom is there. Likewise, we have God within our heart, deep within our personality. That is our real nature. Why can't it be seen? Because of so many ripples and waves coming up. Why does ripples and waves come? Because of the desire, intense desire to obtain the object of senses is called kamaha, lust. So intense desire for corporeal enjoyment, bodily enjoyment, that is the worst of the sensual objects. So that disturbs our mind. There will be wave, lot of wave in the mind, vrittis, and so you cannot see God, who is infinite bliss, absolute ananda, who is infinite existence, who is infinite being, absolute, who is infinite consciousness, who is infinite knowledge, absolute. All that in infinity, which is absolute, is there within you. You are of that nature. But then why can't we see? Because of the disturbance of the mind. What is the worst enemy which troubles us, not allowing to see God? Desire. And of that, what is the worst thing? Intense desire, kama, lust. The sexual attraction. So to reduce that, if you reduce that, Ramakrishna is telling, when a man succeeds in the conservation of his sexual energy, so then what happens? His intellect reflects the image of Brahman. The mind becomes clear. The buddhi is clear. So you can reflect the Lord who is already within there. Even as a glass gives a perfect image when its back is painted with mercury solution. How does a glass become a mirror? When you paint one other end of the glass with mercury solution, then that will become a mirror. What will mirror do? It will reflect whatever is there in front of it. So likewise, even as a glass gives a perfect image when its back is painted with mercury solution, the man who carries this image of Brahman in his heart is able to accomplish everything. So if you conserve this energy, that is the highest form of energy which is within us. You know, the lowest chakra, Muladhara chakra, Swadhisthana chakra, Manipura chakra. These are the lower planes of consciousness. At the bottom of the backbone is the Muladhara. There the Kundalini energy exists. Infinite store of knowledge, everything is there in the form of Kundalini. With very little awakening of that Kundalini, all the activities, what you see, the worldly activities you do, is taking place. Where? Minuscule, very little. So now all the thing which you do, eating, assimilation, then all the joys. So after the Muladhara is the next chakra, Swadhisthana, where it is corresponding with the our reproductive organ. So all that energy at these three levels, then it is the Manipura corresponding with the navel. So our mind will be always moving at these three chakras in this worldly plane, only seeking after selfish joys, then material world, all these things, the mind is moving only with these three planes. So when the Guru gives us the mantra and asks us to meditate, he asks us to meditate on the heart, next chakra, Anahata chakra. So raising from that level, worldly level, the mind is made to come up. So the Kundalini, now as you go on meditating, when your mind becomes pure by repeating the name of the Lord, your mind becomes pure, then the mind comes up. So then all the spiritual life, all the visions of gods and goddesses, all these things happen. Until then, it is just at the material plane or the worldly plane. So how can we raise our mind to the higher level? So Ramakrishna is telling the man who carries this image of Brahman, five continents or Brahmacharya in his heart, he is able to accomplish everything in your life. You can accomplish anything, whether business, whether education, whether any other thing in your life you want to reach your goal. If you have this image of Brahman, by the help of Brahmacharya, if your mind then gets focused, concentrated, there will be no distractions. Then you can do in your life whatever you want. When you waste your energy at the lower level, at the sexual level or whatever, thinking of the worldly things, all your energy is wasted. Suppose take the example of a high-rise building. Maybe there is seven-storied building. So there is a water tank on the top. So you have to pump the water to the top and to all the taps on the top floors. Suppose all the taps are open at the lower floor, maybe first to second, third floor. Then the water, even though you are pumping it at a higher speed, even though a lot of water is there on the top of the tank, it doesn't flow in a proper way to the higher level. Why? Because all the lower taps are open. Because the force is more, gravity, because of the gravity. So there will be no water for the top floors. Likewise, for higher living, higher thinking, higher achievements, if you are wasting your energy at the lower level, you will not have much energy in the form of thought power, concentration, willpower, mental power left to do any work. Because always you are wasting all your energy at the lower level. So when you conserve this at this level, that is called brahmacharya, conservation of the energy, then this energy is converted into a thing called medha. There is a sukta itself in Veda, Medha Sukta. Medha Devi Jushamana Na Aga Ad Vishvachi Bhadra Sumanasyamana. Then this energy is converted into Medha Shakti. Then you can understand everything properly, clearly. Now it is all confusion, loss of memory. You don't understand why you are wasting your energy at the lower level. When you conserve this energy, it gets converted into Medha. Medha Nadi will be developed. Then you can understand everything, can achieve anything. You will have a lot of energy to do. You can achieve anything. That's what Ramakrishna is telling. What is that? By brahmacharya, by continence, you carry the image of Brahman, God, in your buddhi. A man who carries this image of Brahman in his heart is able to accomplish everything. Is able to accomplish everything. Why does Ganesha create obstacles? Ganesha is not a creator of obstacle, you should know that. But he is also called Vigna Raja and Vigna Nivaraka. Why is that? Why should we remember him in the beginning itself? Because Ganesha stands for Brahmacharya, Ashrama, continence. Because he had filial attitude towards all women. He would see only his mother. We all know that story told by Ramakrishna. Purity of mind. He could see only mother in all the female beings. So he had that highest knowledge to see in every woman the divine mother, and in every man Lord Shiva is father. So where is the question of causing harm to anybody? How can he cause vigna? It is our own disrupted mind, our own distracted mind without concentration, because of the attraction of our senses to the world. If you don't control and have this continence, your mind will be rushing here and there. Then suppose you are driving, you cannot concentrate, your mind is running towards objects. So there will be accidents, there will be vigna, there will be obstacles in whatever you do. Not only accidents, you will not do the work properly, you will forget everything. Why? Not because you have not remembered Ganesha. But when you remember Ganesha, you remember this ideal of brahmacharya, the purity of the mind, to see mother, and so there will be no distraction. Your mind becomes pure. You think in every woman, or for men, in every man, you see the god or goddess. So your mind will not be distracted. So vigna is removed. You get the concentration of mind, then you can achieve anything. So Ganesha makes obstacle-less. How? You got the answer. Purity. Purity of the mind. So every god and goddess stand for ideal. Hanuman also. He stands for brahmacharya, continence. You would see in every woman only Mother Sita and Rama in all the men. Rama. So for the work of Rama, he forgot his own enjoyments and selfishness. No thought of his. So he stands for brahmacharya, again continence. So people who carry this image of Brahman in their heart due to continence, brahmacharya, are able to accomplish anything and everything. They can achieve anything. That's what Ramakrishna is telling. That person will succeed wonderfully in whatever action he engages himself. Why? No obstacles, purity of the mind, concentration of the mind, willpower is strong. So whatever he takes up, he will achieve it. Why? Because of brahmacharya. What is that brahmacharya? Hating women or hating man? No. Seeing God, seeing Divine Mother in all the women, seeing Lord Shiva or Narayana in all the men. So where is the question of hatred? Where is the question of attraction? Where is the question of attachment? The mind will be concentrated, focused, happy, joyful. So all the work you take up will be accomplished. So Sri Ramakrishna advised even his householder disciples to lead a normal family life, but at the same time practicing self-control. But for the monastics, the master cautioned those who wanted to become monks, to be very careful about the opposite sex, whether man or woman, the opposite sex. Now, Latu by body is a man. So he told Latu, now, if you want to realize God, the highest goal, to reach the highest goal, if you want to realize God, you will have to be a brahmacharin, man of continence, or if it is a woman, woman of continence, thinking of God, not of all these lower things. That's all. It's so easy. Only the important thing is you have to think of God. That's all. If you want to realize God, you will have to be a brahmachari. Without practicing brahmacharya or continence, one cannot concentrate steadily on God. From brahmacharya, continence, purity, comes intellectual conviction, and then comes faith in the power of Brahman. So if you want to develop your faith, how to increase faith? By purity of mind, by brahmacharya. How to increase conviction in God or higher things? By brahmacharya, by purity of mind. So Ramakrishna himself is telling, without practicing brahmacharya or continence, one cannot concentrate steadily on God. You cannot get concentration of the mind. So from brahmacharya comes intellectual conviction, and then comes faith in the power of Brahman. You will get faith in God only by that purity of the mind, brahmacharya. Without this faith, one cannot feel that he lives in Brahman. What is the meaning of brahmacharya? To live in Brahman, to live in God. Brahmani charati, to move in God, to live in God. How can you live in God? You have to have faith. How do you get faith? How do you get that conviction? Faith in the power of God? By conviction, intellectual conviction. How do you get intellectual conviction? By purity of mind. How do we get purity of mind? Brahmacharya. That's why the first portion of our life, how did the rishis divide our life? The first ashrama is brahmacharya ashrama. The second ashrama is grihastha ashrama. Third ashrama is vanaprastha ashrama. Fourth is sannyasa ashrama. Everybody had to follow this. So why the first, while you are getting educated, that is while you are learning, when you are getting education, brahmacharya ashrama, mind should be pure, no distraction. So only after you get firmness and control, self-control, then only you should enter into grihastha. Then only your grihastha will be successful. Otherwise, there will be fightings, there will be loss, there will be failure, there will be divorces. Why? No self-control of the mind. So after leading a life of enjoyment, grihastha, householder's life, then after much enjoyment, you should not continue until your death. Take up vanaprastha, the forest life, where you give all the responsibility to your children, and then you go to secluded place to think of God, meditate on God, because that is the goal of life. Then after that, you get separated from your wife and other people who are there in the vanaprastha and lead a sannyas in life of sannyas. And everybody had to follow that. So the first one is brahmacharya, purity of mind. Without that, you can't get education. So for higher education, why people don't get higher education or even the complete this thing? No purity of mind, no willpower, no conviction. So one cannot feel that he lives in Brahman without faith. How do you get faith? By purity of mind, by conviction. How do you get faith, conviction? By brahmacharya. So how to get this brahmacharya? How to practice brahmacharya? Ramakrishna is giving the solution. Everybody wants to get purity of mind. How to do that? Japa, repeating the name of the Lord. Japa, the mantra given by your guru, is very, very powerful. It's not an ordinary thing. The mantra, the devotion to your Ishtadevata, the repeating of the mantra may be a weapon of the weak, but it is not a weak weapon. It is the strongest weapon given to the weak person to become strong. You have that. The Guru has given you the name of the Lord, mantra. Just by repetition of that mantra, your mind can become pure. So that is the easiest way. Don't worry about all other asanas, that and this, so many things to get brahmacharya. Ramakrishna is telling, japa, practice japam and meditation. Practice. What more do you want than the Yuga Avatar Ramakrishna telling you the solution to get the purity of mind, to get brahmacharya? Anybody, whether householders or monks or brahmacharis. What is the easy solution and the strongest and the firmest? Ramakrishna is giving the solution. Practice japam. Practice japa. Chant the name of Lord. Japa means continuously chanting the name of Lord. And meditation. While repeating the name of the Lord, you should concentrate on the attributes of the Lord, the Leela of the Lord. So that's why Ramakrishna used to tell Nama Guna Kirtana. Not only singing the name of the Lord, Guna Kirtana, you should also think on the attributes of the Lord. What is that thinking on the attributes of Lord? That is meditation. So japa and meditation, japa and meditation. Practice japa and meditation day and night. Always, whenever you are working, whenever you are driving, whenever you are cooking, whenever you are going to the office or working in the office, what will be your mind doing? What will be your mouth doing? How much of your aspect of your mind you will be utilizing to the work? It will be distracted, going here and there. It will be roaming all the whole world. Use that for meditation. God, even while working, the quality of the work will improve. If you take the name of the Lord while driving, there will be no accidents. The quality of driving will improve. So all the time, repeat the name of the Lord. It will give you purity of mind. No distraction, no vighna, no obstacles can achieve anything. Practice japa and meditation day and night. This is the way one can get rid of attachment for lust and gold. Ramakrishna is telling Latu. And through that, he is telling all of us, whether you are a brahmacharin, whether you are a householder, whether you are a monk, whether you are a vanaprasthin, how to reach your goal, higher goal, to think, to keep your mind, to live in God. That is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means to live in God. Brahmani charati. That is the literal meaning. Practice japa and meditation day and night. This is the way one can get rid of attachment. All sorts of problem you can get rid of. Any problem by repeating the name of the Lord. It's the panacea for all problems. Japa and meditation, day and night. This is the way one can get rid of attachment for lust and gold, kama kanchana, which is the root cause of all problems of life. So, through explaining it to Latu, Ramakrishna is giving all of us a wonderful remedy, solution for all the problems. Now, you should note that when people are stingy, when people are conjuice, frugal, we tease them. Hey, he's a conjuice, he's frugal. Do you know Ramakrishna was extremely frugal. Sri Ramakrishna was extremely frugal and did not approve of his disciples' extravagance. So here is a difference between frugal of selfish type and unselfish type. Now, Balaram Babu, one of the householder disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, was very frugal, conjuice. He would not wear good, colorful dresses, simple dress. He would not spend much on his own family, on his own self. He would waste very less and conserve everything. Why? One day he was cleaning rice himself. Girish Chandra Ghosh came there. and I saw Balaram Babu, Balaram Bose, the householder disciple of Ramakrishna, cleaning the rice himself. He asked him, why are there no workers, maid in your house? They can clean all these things. Why? You are a jamindar, you are a landlord, you are a very rich person. Why are you cleaning? Why are you so frugal? You don't want to spend money, give money to the maids or workers. You are doing yourself. You know what was the reply of Balaram Basu? He told, Ramakrishna is coming to my house. So I am cleaning the rice myself to take special care for cooking and other things because I want to serve the Lord. So the frugality here of the devotees should be not waste anything, but all that can be conserved and put into the service of God, service of the devotees, service of the temple, service of the poor people, to see God in them and serve them. We are wasting. We have increased our lifestyle. We are wasting so many things. But we tell, oh, we are not frugal. We are very broad minded. But you are wasting. That is not the right approach. We have to be frugal for ourselves, for selfish needs, minimum. But we have to be very generous, sorry. We have to be very generous to others, to help others, for the sake of the devotees, for the sake of the poor people. Spend less, be conjuice for yourself, for selfish ends. Be very generous to others. That is the thing. We do the reverse. We'll be very conjuice and not generous for others. But for myself, my own enjoyment, I'll be very generous. So in that way, Ramakrishna was very frugal, conjuice, or stingy. How? For himself. He would not, that is Vairagya. He would not spend on himself. But he will be very generous for the devotees who come there, for the seva of God, for the devotees of God, for the poor people, he will be very generous. So that is the real aspect of a good life of a devotee. So we have seen our senior sadhus in the order were very frugal. They would not waste anything. Very spick and span, not to waste time. That is also very important. Not only wasting objects and material things, not to waste your time, not to waste your energy. That is also important. You have to be frugal there, no wasting. That is frugality. So Ramakrishna, yes, was extremely frugal when it comes to selfishness, wasting things. He taught all the other people who are lighting the lamp, the devotees, the woman devotees, and Mother Sharda Devi, or his niece, or anybody there who are women who are doing the work of lighting the lamp. Keep the batti, the wick, sharp on the top, then light the lamp. Then the oil consumption will be very less. There will be no wastage of oil. If you have a very thick top of the wick, arati, or the lamp, then that will consume lot of fuel or oil, and oil will waste it. Do not waste. Mother Earth gives us all these things with great difficulty. To grow one branch of the tree, it is so difficult for the Mother Nature. It is easy to cut and destroy. You do all the destruction. Can you grow one tree? You don't plant one single tree, but you go on wasting and disturbing the nature. So conservation. So for that, not to disturb the nature, not to disturb other things, you have to be very frugal. I have seen one of the senior monks in the ashrama when that Swami or the Brahmacharin was about to take one matchstick. He used to slit that matchstick into half and give. Don't waste the matchstick. That was the intensity of frugality. Why? You should not waste the hard-earned money of the devotees. They gave that in the form of donation. Why do they give? To serve the Lord, to serve the devotees of the Lord. not to waste it, not to be wasted. So is to slit one matchstick and give half. Use only that much. Do not waste. We have seen it. The younger generation is becoming too generous and generous for losing that all those things. But we have seen the older generation of sadhus who were trained by the direct disciples and by Ramakrishna. They were very frugal. Why? Should not waste anything of the nature. When you waste anything, what happens? You lose your punya. When you get more luxuries and waste the things, what are you doing? You have to pay from your punya, from your merit. Nothing comes free in this world. Nothing can you get in the form of gift and free. Whatever you spend, you have to spend it from your punya, from your merit. So how much of merit have you got? So do not waste. You'll be wasting your punya. Conserve that punya for higher purpose, that is God realization. So Sri Ramakrishna, that's why he was very extremely frugal and did not approve of his disciples' extravagance. Yes, consume, eat food, everything for your good health, nutrition. But do not waste, no extravagance, no luxury. Now, how did he teach? What was the purpose? Why was Ramakrishna frugal? That was frugal for only selfish needs. Unselfish ways for others, very generous. So let us see how did he teach Latu about this frugality. Latu recalled, once in Dakshineshwar, the master asked a devotee to light the oil lamp in his room. The devotee used 4 matchsticks to light one lamp. Why is he using many matchsticks to light one lamp? He could have done that with one, because mind is distracted, thinking of so many things. You will not focus. No mindfulness. So mindfulness, living in the presence. Why do we live in the past? Because you are dreaming of the old worldly enjoyments which you had. Why do I go to the future? I want to think, find out new ways of material enjoyments, selfish things. So I go to the future. I think of the past. I don't live in the present. So there will be no mindfulness. Your mind will be running here and there. So wherever you have to do, use energy to do one small work, you will be wasting your energy, you will be wasting your things. So what is here frugality? Frugality is nothing but don't waste your mental energy. Focus, live in the present. Mindfulness, that is what. Mindfulness is very, very important. Living in the present. So when you are mindful, you can think of God always. When you are not mindful, your mind is running to the future or the past, then you can't be mindful. So here, once in Dakshineshwar, the master asked a devotee to light the oil lamp in his room. The devotee used 4 matchsticks, yet still couldn't light the lamp. The master then got down from his cot and he himself lighted the lamp with just 1 matchstick. He said to the devotee, "Hello, the householders save their hard earned money. They have got earned that money by their sweat and blood, so much of hard effort. Instead of enjoying that on their family or themselves, not going here and there for excursions, simply driving here to the resorts and other places, they've conserved all that money. They have not enjoyed all those things on their children and themselves and given it to the temple, given it to the sadhus, given it to God. Then how should you use that hard-earned money? You should not waste it like this wantonly. You should not insult the hard-earned effort of the householders." So the master then got down himself from the cot, lighted the lamp himself. He said to the devotees, "Hello, the householders save their hard-earned money and give it to the temple or to God or the monks? Is it proper to misuse their money? Is it proper to misuse their money? You don't have the right to misuse the money of the devotees. So another day, Latu Maharaj is telling, I was about to use a matchstick to ignite something there. Then immediately Ramakrishna scolded me and told, why are you wasting? Go there. There is the oven. There is the firewood there. There'll be the fire burning. Get that fire from there and light this. Why do you want to wait the matchstick? If there is no fire, if there is no cooking, if there is no charcoal there burning, then okay, you can light for the first time if there is nothing. But when there is fire burning near the oven, why can't you go and light it from there? Why are you wasting the matchstick? When the lamp is burning, then we try to light the thing with the new matchstick. What was there? The lamp is burning. Burn that from that agarbatti. Anyhow, you are going to burn the agarbatti. Take one agarbatti, dip it in oil, it will burn for long. Then you light the lamp. Or you take a stick, the dried stick, get it from the oven, light the lamp, or anything, whatever you want to light. Why should you waste? That was what Ramakrishna is telling. Presence of the mind, mindfulness. Then your intelligence will work, you will think, and you will do the work properly. Another day, Latu is telling, I was about to use a matchstick to ignite something, and he scolded me, go to the kitchen and get the fire from there. Don't waste. It is amazing how Sri Ramakrishna used small things to teach his disciple. So that is very, very important. He used to make use of all the opportunity to teach his disciple. So in spiritual life, very important thing is do not waste on selfish purpose. What is the basics of spiritual life? Unselfishness. What is that? How is it told? Perfect self-abnegation is the essence of spiritual life. Whether you are following Christianity, whether you are following Islam, whether you are following Hinduism, whether you are following Raja Yoga, whether you are following Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Gnana Yoga, or any path for God realization going up in spiritual life, what is the essence? Basics, perfect self-abnegation. What is that? Removal of ego. What is meant by perfectly removing ego, reducing your ego? That is removing your selfishness. How do you develop your ego? I want everything. I want the enjoyment. I want to be the first. All should respect me. No, let others be respected. Let the others be given the first place. Let others eat. Let the others be happy. I'm not worried about myself. You know, 50% of your problems is solved if you think of others, welfare of others, not about yourself, selfishness. You will not have time to think of yourself. Then there will be no worry at all. All the worries comes because of selfishness. That is the basics of spiritual life. So if you are frugal, not wasting thing, then you conserve your punya. You have earned punya merit over so many lives, and in this life too you are doing so many good things. All that is conserved in the form of your punya. And the papakarya, the papa, the sins which you have committed will be neutralized. If you go on wasting things, you are spending your punya. You are increasing your, if you are wasting and spending on your selfish things, you are increasing your papa. So be frugal, do not be extravagant, do not waste things for a selfish purpose. But for unselfish purpose, to serve the devotees, to serve the other people, to serve the poor people, to serve God, be generous. Then you will get more punya. You will lose more papa. You will lose sins. You will gain more punya. See, so much of secret is given. So Ramakrishna was extremely frugal. So if somebody is frugal for unselfishness, should be very respecting them. If they are frugal for just selfishness, not giving it to others, only consuming themselves, that is bad. That is conjuicy. That is stinginess, not this. So Ramakrishna was extremely frugal and did not approve of disciples' extravagance. So why? Then you lose punya. Then you have to conserve punya to go towards God realization. Even to go to heaven, you have to have more punya. If you have more papa, you will go to hell or animal life. So even for that, worldly things too, even for enjoyment, you should be frugal. For selfishness, but unselfishness, spend, give to others. Then you will get more punya. Religion is realization. Religion is not lecture or talking, just knowing something and quoting something. Even devil can quote the scriptures. What is the use? So it is, religion is not quotation. Religion is not preaching. Then what is religion? Religion means realization, bringing the truth into your life. Religion means realization of God, realization of the ideal or truth. Ordinary teachers teach religion, but teachers like great teachers like Buddha, Christ, or Ramakrishna could give religion, concretely and in a tangent way. So that is very important. That is the gurus, the real guru, the Sadguru, the real guru gives you religion. You will not just talk religion. Years later, Brahmananda ji, one of the direct disciples of Ramakrishna, and the Guru Bhai, the spiritual brother of Latu Maharaj, that is Brahmananda, narrated how Ramakrishna gave religion, how Ramakrishna, the master, roused Latu's spiritual consciousness one day. So what is spiritual consciousness? Kundalini, Gupta Kundalini. So the Parabrahma, the highest Godhead, enters through our Sahasrara, the seventh chakra. Through that it enters thousand petal lotus. And there it is in the form of consciousness. As it comes to the next chakra, the Agna chakra, where we keep this tiki or that mark, the ladies will be keeping the kumkum, the men will be keeping the tilaka or that dot. That is the Agna chakra, next chakra. It comes down, that same energy in the form of, here at the higher consciousness, intellect. Then it comes to the next chakra, Vishuddha chakra. Then in the heart, it takes the form of the emotions, the thoughts and other things, the same energy. Then it comes down to the Manipura, all the worldly things. Then to the Swadhisthana, it gets converted into all this reproductive energy. Then Muladhara, then still lower. But that infinite energy which is getting converted into all those things in our human body, in the Muladhara, the last chakra below, still infinity remains, energy. That is the Divine Mother. It stays in the Divine Mother. The Parabrahma Swarupa, the Shiva, is getting converted into the Divine Mother. As Divine Mother, Kundalini, it stays there. Infinite energy, infinite knowledge, everything is there. But sleeping, Supta Bhujaga Rupini. Supta Bhujaga Rupini. Just like a snake, sleeping snake, it will be sleeping there, coiled up energy. Kundalini. So by purity of the mind, by doing japa, meditation, and all the other activities, repeating different mantras, you wake up that sleeping power, that Supta Bhujaga Rupini, sleeping coiled up snake-like thing, it wakes up and start moving upwards. That is the beginning of spiritual life. It's very, very difficult to wake that up because of our so much of distractions and impurity. Now, that waking up that Kundalini is called as rousing spiritual consciousness. Now that consciousness is there, it is not manifested, it is in the sleeping form. It has become potential, it has to be made kinetic. So, how did Ramakrishna, as a guru, the best guru, rouse Latu's spiritual consciousness one day? That is Kundalini. So, Brahmananda is narrating how Ramakrishna roused Latu's spiritual consciousness one day. Following Sri Ramakrishna's instructions, Latu woke up, woke us up, all of us, all the disciples who were living there with Ramakrishna in Dakshineshwar. Early in the morning, he woke us all up one particular morning for meditation. It was not even dawn. There was no light at all. Sun was not rising. It was Brahmi even earlier than dawn. It was not at dawn. So, after washing quickly, brushing your teeth and washing your face, washing your this thing, body, all other ablutions, cleansing. After washing quickly, all of us sat down to do japa and meditation. Then now, Master called, he ordered everybody to come and sit in meditation even before dawn. When they came, they washed their face and other things, body. And after ablutions, when they came and sat for japam, then Sri Ramakrishna said to us, dive deep today, dive deep into your consciousness today, dive deep today, repeating the Lord's name with devotion. So, all these instructions to them are all how we have to learn to meditate and do japa. So, you can write down all these things or hear all these things, recorded things again and again before meditation. Then you will get lot of concentration. What is Sri Ramakrishna telling? Dive deep today, repeating the Lord's name with devotion, bhakti. Then what did he do? He began to sing with his sweet voice. Ramakrishna had a very, very sweet voice. Vivekananda was a very good singer, classically trained in all the forms, Western, Hindustani. Then he was trained in Drupad Anga, the oldest form of music. He knew so many instruments, percussion instrument. He was expert in music. His voice was very sweet. Many devotees used to tell, compared to the sweetness of the voice of Ramakrishna singing, Vivekananda's would pale into insignificance. So, with that sweet voice, Ramakrishna began to sing. What is that song? It's a special song. O Mother Kundalini, wake up. Wake up, O Mother Kundalini, wake up. In Bengali language, Jagoma Kula Kundalini. Jagoma Kula Kundalini. If you can get that song, it will be on the internet, Naresh or anybody, Shrikant, Jagoma Kula Kundalini. You can find that Bengali song. So it is translated to different language. So we used to sing in Bangalore. Elamma Kundalini, Nityananda Daini. O Mother Kundalini, wake up, get up. You are the giver of eternal joy, Nityananda Daini. So wake up and give us that eternal joy. O Mother, wake up. So he started singing, O Mother Kundalini, wake up. O Mother Kundalini, wake up. That's with his sweet voice. He began clapping his hands and dancing and singing with his sweet voice this wonderful song. And he started going round the disciples, singing, clapping, and dancing. Then he began to sing, wake up, O Mother Kundalini. What is that Kundalini? It is the spiritual consciousness that is called that Kundalini Shakti. Wake up, O Mother Kundalini, wake up. And he went round and round all of us who were sitting in japa and meditation. He started dancing, he started clapping, he started singing in his sweet voice and going around us, singing that, wake up, O Mother Kundalini, wake up. He continued singing and dancing and clapping as we did our japa. Then all of a sudden, without any apparent cause, Brahmanandaji is telling, all of a sudden when Ramakrishna was going around singing this song, when we continued our japam, all of a sudden, without any apparent cause, Brahmanandaji is telling, my body shook. My whole body shook violently. At the same time, Latu uttered a cry. Latu was sitting in japa and meditation. He uttered a cry because he was feeling the pain. The Mother Kundalini was waking up. Now the master placed his hands on Latu's shoulder and held him, saying, don't get up. Stay where you are. Don't get up. Brahmanandaji is telling, I could see that Latu was feeling great pain, but the master refused to let him get up. After some time, I saw that Latu had lost normal consciousness. He was in deep samadhi, meditation, union with God. The master was still singing the same song, Jagoma Kula Kundalini, Jagoma Kula Kundalini. The master was still singing the same song and continued singing it for more than an hour. He was singing that for more than an hour. Then even through song, thus Sri Ramakrishna, even through song, singing song, he would transmit spiritual power to us. That was the greatness of Sri Ramakrishna. Can we hear that song? Jagoma Kula Kundalini, Jagoma Kula Kundalini. Oh mother, wake up, wake up. Oh mother in the form of consciousness, wake up, wake up. I think you can play that song if you have it.
Lauren! Ke ডাক্তার রে? ওদের দক্ষিণেশ্বর থেকে পরমহংস দেব এসেছেন। Lauren! Lauren! ও Lauren! এই যে, আরে এতদিন যাসনি কেন? হ্যাঁ? তাই তো তোকে দেখতে আমি এলাম। মুখখানা যেন একেবারে শুকিয়ে গেছে। আসুন আসুন, ভেতরে আসুন। চল চল চল। আসুন আসুন। বাবা, ও রামলাল, রামলাল, দেখি 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 সন্দেশ এনেছি। যখনই আপনি আসবেন তখনই কি আমার জন্য সন্দেশ আনতে হবে? আমি কি করছি খোকা? নে নে, খা 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 খা। এত কি করে খাবো? আচ্ছা বেশ, একটা রামলাল দত্ত দত্ত নে খা, একটা খা, আমি নিজে খাবে খাইয়ে দিই। বাবা, একটা দি, আরেকটা দি। না দি দি, একটু দি। কতদিন তোকে দেখিনি, কতদিন তোর গান শুনিনি। জাগো 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 মা কুল কুণ্ডলিনী, জাগো মা কুল কুণ্ডলিনী, তুমি নিত্যানন্দ স্বরূপিণী, তুমি ব্রহ্মানন্দ স্বরূপিণী, প্রসুপ্ত ভুজগাকার আধার পদ্মবাসিনী, তুমি জাগো মা কুল কুণ্ডলিনী, জাগো মা কুল কুণ্ডলিনী। ত্রিকোণে জলসানু তাপিতা হইল তনু, মূলাধার তেজ দিবে স্বয়ম্ভু শিব বেষ্টিনী, তুমি জাগো মা, তুমি জাগো মা, তুমি জাগো মা, জাগো মা কুল কুণ্ডলিনী, জাগো মা কুল কুণ্ডলিনী। একটু জল নিয়ে আসবো? ব্যস্ত হবেন না আপনারা, উনি গান শুনতে শুনতে আবার আপনিই প্রকৃতিস্থ হবেন। আপনি গান। গচ্ছ সুষুম্নার পথ, স্বাধিষ্ঠানে হও উদিত, মণিপুর অনাহত, বিশুদ্ধাজ্ঞা সঞ্চারিণী, শিরসি সহস্র দলে, পরম শিবেতে মিলে, ক্রীড়া কর কুতূহলে, সচ্চিদানন্দদায়িনী তুমি জাগো মা কুলকুণ্ডলিনী, জাগো 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 তুমি জাগো মা, তুমি জাগো মা।
Thus, in this way, Ramakrishna used to, even through songs, he would transmit spiritual power to all of us, told Swami Brahmananda. Ramakrishna knew the inner tendencies of all his disciples, and he would send them to different temples or spots in the temple garden of Dakshineshwar to practice meditation. Now, the nephew of Sri Ramakrishna, Ramlal, who was then the Pujari of Mother Kali of Dakshineshwar, he narrates the following story. What is Ramlal telling? One day at noon, the master sent Latu to one of the Shiva temples to meditate. Late afternoon came, and Latu still had not appeared to the master. So even after late afternoon, Latu, who had gone to the Shiva temple to meditate, there are 12 Shiva temples in Dakshineshwar. He went to one of the temples and sat there in meditation. But late afternoon came and Latu still had not appeared. So the master sent me, sent whom? Ramlal, to see about Latu. Where did Latu go? What happened to him? He had gone to meditate in the Shiva temple. He has not yet come back. What has happened to him? Go and find out. When Ramlal is telling, when I entered the Shiva temple, I saw Latu sitting motionless in deep meditation. And because it was very hot summer, he was bathed in perspiration. He was completely sweating. When I came back and reported this to the master, when I told the master what I had seen, now Ramakrishna himself went to the temple. He could understand what is happening. So he went to the temple taking a fan with him. It was a manual fan. In those days, there was no electrical fan or air conditioning. So it was a manual fan. Ramakrishna himself took a fan, manual fan, and ran to the temple where Latu was sitting in meditation. Now, the master asked me, Ramlal, to bring a glass of water. So when I came back with a glass of water, I saw the master was himself fanning Latu with that physical fan. Now, after some time, Latu began to tremble. The master said, my boy, it is twilight. It has already become evening. It is twilight, my dear boy. when will you set the lamps and light them? At the sound of Master's soft voice, Latu slowly began to regain consciousness. He opened his eyes and he seemed puzzled to see Sri Ramakrishna before him. So that is deep meditation. He is not aware of anything of the surrounding, of the past or the present. He is living in the present. Mindfulness. What is living in the present? Living in his own self. Living in God. That is mindfulness. That is real mindfulness. That is deep meditation. Brahmani charati, brahmacharya. Living in God. So he was deeply absorbed in his own self or God or Atman. At the sound of Master's voice, Latu slowly began to regain consciousness. He opened his eyes and seemed puzzled. He couldn't understand where he was, what was he doing, because he was deeply immersed in God. When he was puzzled to see Master before him. Now Ramakrishna addressed him. Latu, you have perspired a great deal. The Master said, because of too much of sweating, you may have dehydration. You have perspired. Let's rest a bit more before you leave your seat. Immediately after meditation or japa, our gurus tell and our seniors used to tell, you should not immediately briskly get up and go to the work. After meditation and japa, you have to sit quiet for some time and then slowly get up. You should not be doing brisk things at that time, running here and there. Slowly you have to get up after some rest, then you have to go to your normal work. So here Ramakrishna is telling him, my dear boy, rest a little bit more before you leave your seat. By this time, Latu was fully conscious of what was going on. Immediately, he was sorrowfully told, what are you doing, sir? He cried. You are serving me. You are fanning me. You are the Guru. I should serve you. On the contrary, you being the Guru are serving me. Your servant, your disciple. So if you take service from the Guru, you will get sin. That is sinful. If you serve the Guru, you will get punya, merit. But if you get the service from the Guru, you will get sin. Won't this disgrace me, sir? It is I who should be serving you. When Latu expressed his pain, but Ramakrishna, with great affection, the Master said, no, my boy. No, my boy. It is not you I am serving. I am not serving your physical body. It is not you I am serving, the ego called Latu, but the Lord Shiva. But the Lord Shiva who is inside you. So now, could you understand the great statement of Swami Vivekananda? Serving humanity, serving human beings, seeing God in them. To serve man is to serve God. So now Ramakrishna is serving Lord Shiva. Shiva Gnane Jiva Seva is showing it here to all of us. Now he's telling, I'm not serving you. So when you serve the devotees, when you serve the people, when you serve the poor people, anybody for that sake, whether your father, whether your mother, whether your wife, whether your husband, whether your children, whether your boss, whether it is the colleagues or your customers, you can follow this. You are not serving that old or young or beautiful or ugly body, black or white or colored body, but in everybody lives Shiva or Narayana. So you have to serve that Lord with your sweet words, good behavior, your service, whatever knowledge you have, serve them. So that is to serve Lord Shiva in all the living beings. Shiva Gnana Jiva Seva, and that is highest practical Vedanta. That's what Vivekananda taught all the world. Seeing God, you have to serve human being all the time. All the time you're dealing with anybody, your children, your wife, your husband, start seeing Shiva, start seeing Narayana, the Lord, and serving them. So Ramakrishna is showing us. He's telling Latu, Latu, do not be worried. I'm not serving you. No, my boy, it is not you that I'm serving, but I'm serving the Lord Shiva, who is inside you. Latu was uncomfortable in such unbearable heat and perspiration. Now, Ramakrishna told, Latu, did you notice? Did you know that Shiva had entered you? Did you know that Shiva had entered your body? Latu, did you know that he, that is Lord Shiva, had entered you? Latu replied, no, sir. I knew nothing. I was gazing, simply gazing at the Shivalinga, the image of Shiva, and saw a wonderful light. I saw a wonderful light coming out of that Shivalinga and entering me. I remember only that the light from the Shivalinga flooded the whole temple. After that, I lost consciousness. I don't know anything about it. Ramakrishna could know. He's telling Lord Shiva was in your body all the time. He had entered your body. Did you know that Lord Shiva entered your body? Latu, did you know that he, that is Lord Shiva, had entered you? No, sir, replied Latu. I knew nothing. I was gazing at the lingam, the image of Shiva, and saw a wonderful light. I remember only that light flooded the whole temple. After that, I lost consciousness. So that was that wonderful incident. And Ramakrishna has shown us how to serve Lord Shiva, how to serve Lord Narayana or Vishnu or Divine Mother in all the living beings. It is that Lord who exists, who has entered every living being. We forcibly go to the image, go to the picture, forcibly do pranapratishtha into that image or photo, and then do puja, keep naivedya. When the Lord himself, out of his sweet will, he has entered into every living being, into every animal, into every human being in the form of your father, mother, brother, sister, your brother-in-law, sister-in-law, your mother-in-law, your daughter-in-law, in your boss, in your colleague, in your neighbors, in the poor people, in everybody. That Lord has entered, the Shiva has entered himself and is delighting there. We neglect that. We ill-treat them. We do not serve them. But we go to the temple and serve the image, stone image or the metal image or the mud image or the photo, forcibly putting the prana into it. Here the Lord himself has come. In all the human beings, in all the living beings, the Lord himself is manifesting. We neglect it. We don't treat them properly. So that's why the avatara, the yuga avatara of this age has come to teach us all these great things. In bringing Vedanta and Vedas, the knowledge of our scriptures into our day-to-day life. It's not only rituals. We are satisfied with little havan and homa, and there ends our spirituality. Taking some prasad, going around the temple, doing some arati, putting some flowers, there ends it. This is real spirituality. This is religion lived, practical spirituality. So Ramakrishna is showing all these things. Ramakrishna used to describe the signs of a man or a woman who is advanced in meditation. So how to know a person who is advanced in meditation? So Ramakrishna is telling birds will settle on his head, taking him to be some inert thing. A snake will glide over his body, and that person will not know it. His meditation will continue without a break in all circumstances, with eyes shut or open, while talking or walking or engaged in any work. You can continue meditation. Another disciple, a senior disciple, he was called Elder Gopal. There was a younger Gopal, two Gopals were there. He was senior to Ramakrishna also in age. He was very, very senior even to Ramakrishna in age. So he was called Elder Gopal or Buddha Gopal. So he was also one of the direct disciples. Now this Elder Gopal, another disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, related this incident. One day, Latu was meditating on the bank of Ganga. He used to choose a seat above the level to which the water rose during flood tide. However, that day the water rose unusually high because the tide was very big and the force of the water gushing from the sea into the Ganga was too high. It was unusually high, up to where Latu was sitting in meditation. And the water continued rising. Latu was so absorbed in meditation that he did not feel the water. Now this elder Gopal immediately ran and anxiously reported the matter to Sri Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna came hurriedly, running, waded out to where Latu was and brought him back to normal consciousness. Now, I will tell you another incident of deep meditation. Swami Vivekananda was called as adept in meditation. Dhyana Siddha, Samadhi Siddha. He was meditating, he was immersed in Samadhi. The highest form of meditation is Samadhi. When your concentration deepens for 20 minutes, if you are in concentration, 22 minutes, then it is meditation. When that meditation deepens and still you can stay in meditation for a longer hour, it is dharana. Then still, if you can meditate still deeply, still go deeper, even after dhyana, dharana, then that is samadhi. Now, Swami Vivekananda, as one of the greatest Saptarshis, even after the Vaikuntha, Kailasa and the Swarga, in the Saptarshi Mandala, in that Nirakara, they were all meditating. They were all in Samadhi, immersed in the Lord, Nirakar, Nirguna Parabrahma. So he was brought down by Ramakrishna in the form of a small child. I'm going down as Avatara. You also have to come to me to serve the humanity, to lift the humanity from the troubles, to give them the taste of spirituality about God. I'm going down. Will you also come down? So Narendra, that is Swami Vivekananda, he came down. So he used to go to deep meditation in Dakshineshwar. It once so happened Latu, sorry, not Latu, it is Girish Chandra Ghosh, the householder disciple. So both of them went to Dakshineshwar in Panchavati and sat for meditation. So now, Girish Chandra Ghosh was elderly and Narendra was a young boy of 16 or 17. Now, he thought, I will compete with Narendra in meditation. Let us see who will sit longer, whether Narendra will sit longer or I will sit. So both of them sat to meditation. Narendra didn't have any such thing as competing with Girish. He just sat in meditation, went to deep meditation. It was evening. It deepened into night. Now, Girish Chandra Ghosh couldn't have deep meditation, opened his eyes. He saw Narendra was in deep meditation. Half an hour is spent, 1 hour, it has become dead of the night. Still, Narendra is in deep meditation. Then, bank of the Ganga, marshy area, water, So many plants, so lot of mosquitoes. Bengal is famous for malaria and mosquitoes. Too much of mosquitoes. He was biting Girish Chandra Ghosh everywhere. Wherever there is the skin is exposed, there is mosquito biting him on the face. So he can't concentrate, he can't meditate. So he's getting disturbed. It is shooing the mosquitoes and opens and see Narendra in deep meditation. But he saw this time Narendra is covering his body with a blanket, a black blanket. It was dark, you see, you can't notice it. Very dark, no electricity, no lamp. Then he thought he's in still deep meditation. I'm being disturbed by the mosquito. So might be he has covered himself with a black blanket. He went near and saw it was not a black blanket. It was a swarm of mosquitoes covering his whole body, biting him, sitting on him on all the skin and sucking his blood. But Narendra in deep meditation is not at all aware. So in depth meditation, so deep is meditation, even though there are thousands or millions of mosquitoes sucking blood and biting him, here Girish, one or two mosquitoes, is getting up disturbed. But Narendra is sitting in meditation, so deep meditation, thousands and millions of mosquitoes is sucking blood and biting him, is not aware. Seeing that covering of mosquito like black blanket over the whole body, Girish was terrified. Then he shook Narendra to wake him up. Get up, Narendra. See, you'll get blood sucked by these mosquitoes and you'll get disease. He shook him. Then, in the same sitting posture, the body of Narendra fell down like a dead body. He was sitting in Padmasana and he fell down in Padmasana only, but still he didn't wake up. He was in deep meditation. The mosquitoes could be chased by Girish, but the meditation didn't break. Such was the, he got afraid. Girish got afraid and he had to run to the master. That was the depth of the meditation of the disciples of Ramakrishna. So that is deep meditation. So now we will stop this wonderful life of Latu Maharaj or Adbhutananda. In the process, we are also learning so many things for our personal spiritual life and also how to behave, how to be not wasting anything of the nature, how to be frugal for selfish ends but generous to everybody. So many things we are learning. So we'll also meditate on Ramakrishna, meditate on his attributes, meditate on all these things and get the benefit of spiritual life. So we will end our conversation. So if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, you can ask. So there is one question on YouTube. Can you transfer that to our message chat so that I can answer it? Aparigraha, holy aparigraha, people holy or worldly sometimes try to donate lovingly or otherwise. When and from whom one can accept, and when and how to reject without hurting others. So aparigraha is non-acceptance of gift. When people who are very close to us, and there are so many social obligations that you have to receive. Suppose somebody who is senior to you, a boss or something giving you, if you don't accept, then you will be in trouble. So what to do then? So that is a question. Then avoid as much as possible taking the gift or try to give more to others. But when there is some social obligation or obligations from the seniors or somebody, you have to receive it. Receive it as a gift, not to yourself, as to God. You offer it to God and take it, but do not use it for yourself. Without their knowledge, don't show it to everybody. Don't show it to beat the drum and show that I'm going to give it to somebody else. But you can donate that to some poor people, people who are in need. You can give it to other people, to other devotees for the higher purpose, to the temple, to the hospital, to the diseased people who are in need. So you can give that. You can take it when there is social obligation, as much as possible, do not take it. Try to avoid it, but you should be giving it to others. You should give to others the donation, the gift, and everything to others, but you don't accept it. Because the more you accept, the more sins you have to accept. So, suppose there is social obligation, if there is somebody seniors, you have to accept it without rejecting or hurting, then accept it as an offering to God, but do not use it on your selfish purpose. Give it to others. That is only the last resort. As much as possible, do not accept it. But if there is something where you will be hurting others or there is social obligation, accept it as a offering to God, offer it to the Lord immediately, and then give it to poor people, deserving people. So a person who has given it to you also will be benefited, and you will also not be into the trouble of breaking the aparigraha. I think I have answered the question. What is the true nature of this papa and punya? So, papa or sin, punya is merit, opposite of sin. Whatever, see, when the question of morality and immoral act comes, Swami Vivekananda explains it with minimum words. And what is that? Anything that is selfish is immoral. Anything that is unselfish is moral. The same thing applies here. So when you do immoral things, that brings you papa. When you are hurting others, when you are unnecessarily wasting the things of the nature, when you are deceiving somebody else, when you are trying to take away things of others. So these are all immoral things. Why do we do that? Because of selfishness. So anything that is unselfish is punya. For others, whatever you do, good to others, helping others, that gives you punya, merit. Anything that is for your selfish end, only for your enjoyment, for your material enjoyment, sense enjoyment, only for that, yes, you have to enjoy a little, you have to take food as much to keep your body fit and healthy, nutritious, that much. If you take more than that, if you don't share it with others, it is papa. When Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, when he's talking about yagna, we have to do all the work as yagna, all our activities like yagna, sacrifice. At that time he tells, suppose you have earned the money, you have bought all the materials, you have cooked it, you have earned with your hard-earned money, you have cooked the food, and if you eat that food only for yourself, then Krishna tells, I call him a thief. That is papa, he tells. You have to share it with others. Though you have earned the money, though you have cooked the food yourself, if you don't share it with others, Krishna tells, I call him a thief. I consider him as a thief. This word in Bhagavad Gita. So whatever you do, you have earned the money. You have earned the materials by yourself, hard work, by moral ways. Then you have cooked it or you have bought so many things. If you enjoy it only for yourself without sharing with others, poor people, then Krishna tells you are a thief. That is, you are committing sin. So anything, any work which is selfish is sinful, which is unselfish is meritorious. That is punya. That is the simplest thing which you can be. So know for yourself what you are doing is selfish or unselfish. So that is the, I told you, basics of spiritual life or religious life is unselfishness, giving up selfishness, perfect self-abnegation, removal of the ego. What is ego? Selfishness. So simple. Any other questions, any other messages, any other doubts? Okay. If you don't have any other doubts, then we can conclude our session with the prayer. But before that, today, South African time, 9:30, we have the Hinduism for Children's class. If you have small children or young boys or girls up to the age of 20 or 25, they can join it. The links are provided for the children's class. You have to enter it through the special link on the Google Meet. So if the parents have small children, they can make them join, or even they can also, the parents also have to compulsorily sit there. So you can make use of that Hinduism for Children's class. So thank you. Namaste. Om Namo Narayanaya. We shall conclude with the prayer. Om Priyatam Pundarikakshaha Sarvayagneswaro Harihi Tasmin Tushte Jagat Tushtam Prinite Prinitam Jagat Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu